learning how to make banoffee pie is really easy. This banana and caramel pie originated in the United Kingdom in the early 1970s, and it's become famous the world over. Although I've never had it before, it includes a combination of two ingredients that's really common in Argentine cuisine, so I know that I'm gonna love it. As you can see, it includes just a few ingredients, so it's really quick, really simple, really easy. Here I have one 9-inch graham cracker crust. Of course, I made my own homemade. I'll include a link to my recipe, but you could definitely use a store-bought or your own recipe. Here for the caramel, I have 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, 14 ounces, that I boiled at high heat for 3.5 hours, and then I let cool down. That is the recipe I use when I make homemade dulce de leche, which is a type of milk and sugar caramel that is very common in Argentine cuisine and other Latin American countries. If you want to skip that step and skip the mess, or as the Argentines would say, the quilombo of boiling a can of sweetened condensed milk, you can always just buy dulce de leche. I like to buy the dulce de leche from this brand La Lechera because it's really thick, and if you buy dulce de leche that's really runny, when you cut this pie, it's going to go all over and it's going to be a big quilombo. Like I said, one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk that you've boiled for at least 3 hours. I like 3.5. Some bananas, and I'm going to top it off with some homemade whipped cream. If you want to use store-bought, that is fine. I'll include a link to my recipe. Most recipes call for 2 cups of heavy whipping cream that is then whipped, so to be on the safe side, start off with 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. The first step is to just simply put the caramel into the graham cracker crust. Some people put the bananas down first, but I am going to put the toffee, the caramel, down first. All you have to do is scoop it out of the can. I would make little globs, for lack of a more elegant word, here and there in the pie plate, because if you put it all down in one spot, it's going to be harder to spread out. So it's easier to spread out little globs, we'll say, than to spread out one big glob. Now that the caramel is in the pie crust, I'm just going to simply take my spoon and spread it out. Some recipes call for 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk that are boiled, but as you can see, this 9-inch pie plate, it's already pretty thick in there. I think 2 would be too much. Honestly, maybe if you have a deep dish pie plate, it would be okay, but for a normal 9-inch pie plate, I think one 14-ounce can, 400 grams, is plenty. Now that the caramel is in the pie, it's time to move on to the next step in making this banoffee pie. I'm slicing the bananas now. I'm using 2 large bananas. As you can see, these bananas, they're yellow, but they're starting to get some freckles on them. I honestly think that for fresh eating, that is perfect. This is just how I like them. I'm now cutting them into slices that are, I would say, about 1/4 inch thick. If you're baking with bananas, like if you're making hummingbird cake, or you're going to mash the bananas and put them into some cake batter, I would wait until they're a little more freckled, but like I said, for fresh eating, I think that's perfect. Now I'm just going to simply put them into the pie. I'm not putting any lemon juice on them because the reviews of the recipe I saw online, they basically said that if you put on too much lemon juice, this pie will taste a lot like lemon. And that's what my fear is. I feel like The lemon juice, it wouldn't really soak into the dulce de leche, into the caramel, so it would really taste like lemon. I think that's why working quickly when you're making banoffee pie is important, and making sure everything is ready to go. Your pie crust is ready, and most importantly of all, your whipped cream is ready. Because as soon as these bananas are in this banoffee pie, I'm going to add my whipped cream. I just finished putting the bananas in my banoffee pie. I weighed the pie and I weighed the peels of the bananas. I think probably 400 grams of bananas. So when you're in the grocery store, buy at least a pound of bananas to be on the safe side, a pound and a half, and you should be fine. Now I'm going to add my whipped cream. Like I said, I'm not going to add any lemon juice, so it's very important that the whipped cream is ready to go. If you want to make homemade whipped cream, I recommend using between 1.5 and 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. I used 2.5 cups of heavy whipping cream to make the whipped cream for my banoffee pie, and as you can see, I had a lot left over. My banoffee pie has been chilling in the refrigerator for almost an hour and a half, so now I'm ready to serve it. You could dust it with some cocoa powder, but I've seen some recipes in which people dust the pie with some coffee. So I'm going to take some instant coffee and just sprinkle that on top. At that point, I couldn't wait any longer, so I had to dig in. Honestly, I'm really happy that I learned how to make banoffee pie because I really enjoyed this. As I said earlier in the video, banoffee pie has a flavor combination, bananas and dulce de leche caramel, that is very common in Argentine cuisine. I knew that I, along with a lot of other people, already like the combination of bananas and caramel, so that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this recipe. However, in all honesty, the main reason why I wanted to learn how to make banoffee pie was because of the crust. If you've been watching my channel recently, you know that I have fallen in love with graham cracker crusts. So I've been looking for ways to use it more and more. I'm really glad that I tried using it in this banoffee pie because honestly, even though the bananas and the whipped cream were definitely good, what I think made me truly fall in love with this dessert was the combination of the dulce de leche caramel and my homemade graham cracker crust recipe. My addiction to my graham cracker crust aside, I think that banoffee pie is another great recipe because it's perfect for the summer. If you choose not to bake your graham cracker crust, or if you use a store-bought crust, and especially if you can buy dulce de leche already made, this is a great no-bake pie. Since it chills in the refrigerator, this would be a really great icebox pie. Although this was outstanding and I definitely think that you should make this, it does have one weakness. I don't think that this would be good to make ahead of time. This was my first time making this banoffee pie, so I don't know for sure, but just my chef's intuition and from what other people said online, I don't think this would be good more than 24 hours, maybe max 48 hours after you make it. But other than that, this dessert is fantastic. So now that you know how to make banoffee pie, be sure to give this recipe a try. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.